Are 4 a.m. workouts extreme? Do you think that getting up that early to exercise is a difficult thing, that it is unusual, it's too much? Well, what about living like a sack of shit? What about waking up in your crappy little apartment to go work your crappy little job? Isn't that extreme? You know what's extreme is when I used to be a bouncer in New York and I had that job at night. And then in the mornings, I had a daytime job, daytime security guard job. Then in the afternoons, I had to go to school. I was studying finance. And then on the weekends, I had a third job that I would do during those days, on my Saturdays and Sunday mornings. You don't think that that was extreme? Working 2 full-time jobs, plus overtime, plus 20 hours on the weekends, part-time job, and going to school full-time. All of that so that I can make, after taxes, after taxes, a little over $1,000 a week. That's not extreme? To work these crappy freaking jobs, to live this crappy life so that I can make, after taxes, $50,000 a year. It sucked. That's extreme. Living poor, being poor is extreme. That freaking sucked. I mean, treating my body poorly with drugs and alcohol and eating like shit because I couldn't cook. I didn't have time for anything, so I'm just eating crappy fast food all the time and just stuffing myself. That's not extreme. Waking up every morning with a hangover. Or in my case, especially back then, working out, working constantly, hardly getting any sleep. For 3 years, I didn't sleep between Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's extreme. Being poor is extreme. So, when you're treating yourself like this, making less money than you know you should be, you know you're worth more than 14 bucks an hour or 20 bucks an hour or 30 bucks an hour. You know that you can be doing better with your life. You know that you want more out of life. So what is extreme is not living in your purpose and not living the life that you want to live. In my case, getting up at 4 a.m., being in a gym, it should be the same thing for you, and it is where you belong, where we belong. Being in there every morning, working on my personal development, working on my body, working on making myself a better, stronger person, more resilient in my mind and in my body, that is where I belong. That is where we belong. That's where you feel so much better. When you start doing it, you get into the rhythm. Once you're in the rhythm, once you've been doing it for a couple of weeks and you realize this is your new reality, you will feel so much better than you ever have before. It's not extreme. The most successful people have an early morning routine. You've heard of it before. A lot of CEOs, millionaires, billionaires, top earning people, entrepreneurs, they're up super early. They're up super early to open up their place of business, or they're up super early, in most cases, doing an exercise, working out, doing research, reading the papers or whatever is relevant to their daily lives, to their businesses, so that they can get a head start. And in my case, I'm doing the same thing. I'm up every morning. I'm in the gym at 4. While I'm working out, I'm listening to podcasts, I'm listening to podcasts. I'm listening to good material online that helps me kind of build myself out, and I'm journaling and I'm writing down right here. I have this with me. I'm writing down things as I'm working out and thinking critically about what I'm listening to and reflecting on whatever it is, whether it's business podcasts that I listen to that are relevant to my businesses or personal development. And you can be doing the same thing. There's nothing extreme about becoming a better version of myself, becoming the best version of myself, and chasing my dreams. And to get to where I am now financially, to become the success that I am, there was nothing extreme about it. It was me making a decision to go back to school in my late 20s and saying, I'm just gonna focus on being the best performing student I could be. Straight A student, study hard, get straight A's in all my exams, graduate top of my class, and get plenty of scholarships so that I put myself back in student debt. There's nothing extreme about it. These are just the right things that you should be doing when you're in school, which is being a good student. There's nothing extreme about it. It's just, unfortunately, on the bell curve, people who are at the top tend to be the smaller minority of students in school. Just as the people who are at the bottom, who fail out or barely pass, are at the other end of the spectrum. And that's not extreme. It's just doing what you should be doing if you want to be successful. And in my case, I had to learn, I had to do it all the hard way. But what I was doing, working multiple jobs, has been extreme. Trying to not be poor while being poor, that's extreme. So I hope that you guys can wake up and realize that if you're wasting a lot of time working multiple crappy jobs, figure out what you really want to do and get at that. There's nothing extreme about being up early and going to the gym and getting your body and your mind right. That's why I'm there in the gym. It's mostly for my mind, not my body. So when you realize the way you're living, how extreme that is, to be poor, to be a piece of crap, to treat yourself like crap, to treat your body like crap. Look around your apartment. It's a big mess. You got piles of laundry, or you haven't taken out the trash, or pizza boxes or whatever lying around. That is extreme. It's not extreme to have an immaculate, clean home. That's a reflection of your mind. So I hope you can figure it out. I hope that you can realize that the answers are in front of you. The answers are right here. It's very simple. You will find it in a positive morning routine. That's the first step, I would say. So, good luck. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them in the comments. Thanks.